Get ready for the nerd out. Better put specs on. Better break necks on. I caught handsome checks for my expansion sets. They call me. I can feel your anger. It gives you focus.
What's up, comic fam? It's your boy, the Bearded Comic Bro, and welcome back to my MCU ranking video. This is episode 2. So, if this is your first time tuning in, stop watching this video. Go back, watch episode 1, where I ranked 23 through 18, my bottom 6. Make sure you guys check out the comments and make sure you guys leave comments on that video and let me know how wrong I was with my bottom 6, because I know people are letting me know that right now. But we're here for episode 2. So you guys know how I did this rankings. If you don't, again, watch the first video. Duh. And we're going to jump into number 17 on the list. And number 17 is AntMan. I remember when this movie came out in theaters, I was going, AntMan, you got Paul Rudd as a lead in a superhero movie? Are you serious? I remember coming out of the movie going, wow, that's actually was pretty entertaining. And I think that's what Paul Rudd does. Paul Rudd is a very entertaining actor. I think Ant-Man is a good fit for the character, at least for what they're creating Ant-Man to be in the MCU. I mean, it's a movie about a guy who can shrink down to an ant, so it doesn't take itself seriously, but it does enough that you go, I'm here for it. And I think it's a fun, entertaining story from there. The characters in it, it's a great cast, really good supporting cast in this movie that just really helps the movie shine, I think. So, number 17 on my list is Ant-Man. And number 16, we have another sighting of Tony Stark. Number 16 at my list is Iron Man 2. Again, I think this was the third movie to be released theatrically in the MCU, and a lot of people were hyped for it. I think it was good. I think there were some flaws with the movie. I really like Mickey Rourke as an actor. I really like Mickey Rourke's character. I wanted more development of his character in there, so I guess I was just more upset with that. I needed less of Sam Rockwell, which is weird to say because he's a great actor, but I wanted more of Mickey Rourke. I wanted more of his villain, and I thought it didn't do justice to the overarching story. Iron Man 2 had a lot of potential that just didn't hit the right notes for me as well. So, moving on to number 15, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp. Again, a lot of stuff that I just said about Ant-Man resonates with me on Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp here. I think what they did was they took the characters and they were able to expand them a little bit more because we've already gotten to know them. We got invested in them a little bit more. And I thought it was a important piece, obviously, for what was going on in the cinematic universe to be able to say, hey, this is a crucial movie, but it stands alone still. Like, you can watch it and be like, okay, this is a self-contained movie. And I will say that is something that Marvel does really well. All their movies are connected of setting up for something, but most of their movies, except for the big event ones, can be seen as a self-contained movie still. You could watch Ant-Man and the Wasp and not really need to watch too much else to know and get the idea of what's going on. Obviously, it helps, but I think that was the beauty of the Marvel movies. You could kind of hop in anywhere, and then you could go back in and be like, oh, okay, this makes a little bit more sense. So I liked Ant-Man and Wasp, and I liked how they expanded on the universe they created. So, moving on to number 14 on my list is none other than Captain America, the First Avenger. Again, I'll start off with saying I'm not a huge period piece fan. So that, already going into it, that has... It already went in with a, kind of, it started on a lower, I went in with kind of like, hesitations. I don't get thralled into the period piece movies as much. A lot of them are good. I know they have their place. It just isn't for me. So I knew going into the movie that I was going to probably like the other Captain Americas more when he's in modern times. So I went in with that bias, and it still is true with me watching it. It's not to say it's a bad movie. Again, the characters are really good and engaging in it. You're going to hear this a lot. I feel like, I wanted more of the Red Skull. If there's ever a knock on Marvel movies, it is that they don't give their villains the due that they deserve. And so it made it lower on my list at 14, because it had going against it. It's period piece. I'm not into period piece. It's not for me. So it's not to say that affects the movie like as a quality. It just isn't as much for me. I wanted more Red Skull. I think Chris Evans shines fantastically. I think you get to see the start of like where you're watching this, you're going, he's going to be a fantastic Captain America. I think it was great casting, but it falls at number 14 on my list. Number 13 on my list is one that I feel is a lot lower on other people's lists. It is often known as the forgotten child of the MCU, and I'm talking The Incredible Hulk. I really enjoyed this movie. I think Edward Norton is a great actor. Say what you will as a person and why he wasn't in the following movies, because all of that stuff, fine. I think when he's on a movie, I'm captivated because the guy can act. And I thought he brought a great sense of realness to the character of Bruce Banner. I liked what they did with the character of the Hulk. I really just enjoyed the movie. It's weird because I felt like it was going to be lower on my list. I felt like it was going, even though I remember I liked it, I felt like it was going to be lower on my list just because everyone always talks about it being so bad or their least favorite. And it's obviously, if you're looking at the first wave, phase 1 of Marvel movies, it's one of the highest up there on my list of favorite movies from phase 1. And I think that's just a testament to Edward Norton, what he brought to the movie. And so there is a little bit, and I don't know, I might be in the minority, and that's not to say anything about Mark Ruffalo. I think he does a great job as well. But I am one that definitely would have really loved to seen what would have happened if Edward Norton was still in the MCU. But that's just me. That's just my take. And now we are at the last movie of this video. We are at number 12 on my list. I remember walking out of this movie being a little disappointed. And I remember when I was doing this list in my head, it was a lot lower on the list for me because I was like, it's not a good movie. But I think when I rewatched it, I was able to say, actually, it's a lot better than I remembered. There are just elements of it that frustrated me and that pulled me away from what it could have been more. So at number 12 on the list, I am talking about Avengers Age of Ultron. I feel like it was their second kind of big event movie. I was ready for it. I was excited for it. And it just didn't have it hit that sophomore slump of event movies for me. And so I was able to taper my expectations, I think, for some of the other big event movies because of that. But in rewatching Avengers Age of Ultron, I remember saying, wow, this is actually more enjoyable than I remember. And so I think what I was allowing in my memory was my frustration of it not living up to the hype that I built up into my head. And so it fell down the list a little bit. I feel like this movie for me they had a lot of characters that they then were bringing into this movie, and Marvel hadn't figured out how to balance a movie that's more loaded. Avengers was loaded, but then with every event movie, right, you're adding more characters because you don't want it just to be the Avengers. You got to have more characters. And I felt like in Age of Ultron, they just didn't know how to properly give the characters their own space that I do feel like they learned going on. And I think that kind of held the movie back from its potential of being good. I think they forced in some characters like Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch just to be in there, and that really didn't give them their justice of growing into their roles in the movie because it was such an overcrowded movie already. And I feel like it just didn't get the pacing of bringing the group all together and meshing well and giving them the proper due of screen time. So that's why it falls on number 12 on my list. So that is it for episode 2. We went 17 through 12. So we talked Ant-Man, Iron Man 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain America, Hulk, and Avengers Age of Ultron. So if you guys are enjoying these videos, make sure you guys leave comments. What of these movies that I listed here, what'd you like about them? What'd you not like about the movies? You know, we're moving into my 11 and then top 10 here. So you know what's coming. You know the movies. Maybe you figure out what I rank. What movies have made my 23 through 12 that would make your top 11? Let me know in the comments. And stay tuned for episode 3. And as always, I hope you can find some time to curl up, grab a book, and nerd out. Peace.